All right, well, let's talk about our picture perfect weather here in Southern California. So far, so good. We've had temperatures above average. Here's a quick look at our Long Beach camera. So yes, this is unseasonably warm for December because usually in December, we're talking about temperatures in the high 60s. Now, I want to show you what's happening because we are dealing with this system, this high pressure system that's been with us for the last few days. So I'm going to open this up for you so you can kind of see what I'm talking about because we are talking about this high pressure system that is sitting right over us, just to the west of us, and it's going to continue to move a little bit closer to us. So high pressure spins clockwise. So what it's doing is it's pumping in much more of that warm, dry air, and that's why we're seeing those offshore conditions. And what it's also doing is I also want to show you, you can see how it acts as a shield. So all the moisture that we're seeing just to the north of us is going to stay to the north of us. So this is why we're seeing a lot more of that moisture, especially in the Pacific Northwest. So it's not really affecting us, and we're going to stay dry, and you can see it right here, what I'm pointing to right now. It just goes up and over that high pressure system. So what's happening is this high pressure system has to continue to move a little bit closer to us, but it is bringing us some hotter temperatures today, and it will continue to do so. And our temperatures are going to actually stay warmer than normal. And yes, we've had a lot of rain in November, so that still puts us above average. We're still in a good spot, but we're just watching to see when this high pressure system will break down, because right now it doesn't look like it's going to break down at least for the next week here in Southern California. All right, so now I want to show you what we're going to be dealing with this high pressure system as it continues to kind of be part of our weather story. So as we head into Wednesday and Thursday, you can see how it gets closer to us. So this is why we're expecting peak heat today, tomorrow, and also through Thursday. And then finally, by the end of the week, it looks like it slides off just a little bit. But again, it's still there. It's still not budging. It's still acting as a shield and not allowing any of that moisture that we're seeing to the north of us even make its way into our region. But it looks like it will slowly try to push off to the east. So we're hoping that once it finally does, maybe we can get some moisture and some more of that wet weather here in Southern California. But for now, enjoy the warming trend because, as I mentioned, we're talking about much more of the warmer temperatures today, tomorrow, and Thursday. That means west of the mountains, temperatures will be in the 70s and 80s. We did see some 80s yesterday. We're going to see much more of the 80s today, especially as you get away from the coast. And then we're actually cooling down just a little bit, as I showed you, as that high pressure system begins to move away from us. So the weekend is going to be a little bit cooler. Now I want to show you where the winds are this morning. So right now, because we have some gustier offshore conditions, our temperatures in some spots are a little bit warmer than other areas. So Malibu, we're looking at some low 60s. Downtown LA is also dealing with some low 60s, and then Fullerton also dealing with some mid 60s. So what happens is these winds are coming in from off the mountains and our deserts and headed toward the coast. So a lot of our inland communities during offshore conditions will be cooler than some of our temperatures closer to the coast, like Malibu, or even coastal adjacent. So that's why we're seeing more of the 60s for Malibu, downtown LA, and Fullerton, while Corona and then also Pasadena looking at temperatures right now in the 40s and 50s. All right, so here is a look at those winds. Those gusty offshore winds are under advisory level, so we don't have any wind advisories to tell you about, but it's doing its job. It's just warming us up and also drying us out. All right, so now this is what we're dealing with temperature-wise. So you can see the first column, 80s and some 70s. That is well above average because the second column, normally we should be in the mid to upper 60s. We are definitely looking at much warmer than normal conditions here in Southern California. But because we have these Santa Ana winds usually in the fall, some of our record temperatures are set a little bit higher. So some areas may not break records, even though we're talking about some really warm temperatures, but we're eyeing a couple of them. So I'll get to that in my next update. But here's a quick look. 80s for the end of the week through the Inland Empire. And then by the weekend, we're looking at 70s. For the valleys, we're looking at 80s also up until about Saturday. And then finally, by the time we head into Sunday, we slowly start to cool down and get back down into the mid 70s. LA and Orange County, low 80s today, upper 70s, still above average through the end of the week, and then we get down to the low 70s by Sunday. So a dry but quiet forecast. Kalina, back to you.